Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. The Black Panther and Fantastic Four Avengers Doomsday teaser trailer just leaked out recently. I just did a video for it. Right as we started to see that footage, there was also a brand new report on Marvel's plans for a totally new T'Challa Black Panther in both the next Avengers movies. That's right, Ryan Coogler also just did a big interview talking about Black Panther 3 in the future of the character, because that movie, Black Panther 3, is going to be the first Marvel movie after Avengers Secret Wars during Marvel Phase 7 in that soft reboot that they're doing on the MCU. So it really does seem like a lot of the reports, a lot of the leaks, and the early footage we've been seeing from Avengers Doomsday confirm the theory that Marvel is using Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars to test out a new T'Challa Black Panther before they introduce him in a much bigger way in Black Panther 3. There's a lot to unpack here, so if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. This is just the beginning of footage for Avengers Doomsday this year, too. We have the Super Bowl coming up in a couple weeks, too. Of course, I will do all the videos for that, whatever Marvel does wind up releasing, or whatever also leaks out, too, because there's been a lot of leaks lately. Just a couple days ago, there was a new report circulating that Damson Idris would be the new T'Challa Black Panther, but what Marvel and the Russos are doing is introducing him during Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, supposedly as a variant, if this is to be believed. Unless people are misquoting the news, that would mean he'd have to come from a different universe or a different timeline. There are a couple of different ways for them to explain how he's a variant, like another version of T'Challa from another Earth. And what they're doing is using Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars to test the waters and see how he performs as Black Panther and how audiences and fans respond to him. Because Black Panther 3 is so important for them as this cornerstone of Marvel Phase 7 after Secret Wars, just like the upcoming X-Men movies they're working on. Marvel Phase 7, like everything they do going forward, they're basically using Secret Wars as this soft reboot point, this onboarding place for new fans to basically try and drive way more interest heading into the new stuff than we had during Marvel Phase 4, Phase 5, and Phase 6.
Someone cooked here.
So this is why Marvel is trying to give itself the safest possible path to a new T'Challa Black Panther in the MCU going forward in all those movies. Like, let's test somebody out before we fully commit to this so that we don't wind up with another Marvel Phase 4, Marvel Phase 5 situation. Also, because it's the Russos who would be introducing this new Black Panther, a lot of you probably realize this, is the exact same tactic that they took when they introduced Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa back in the day as Black Panther during Captain America Civil War. Introduce the character in somebody else's really big movie, show off what he can do, get people hyped up about the character, then give him his own solo movie. So you kind of see the path that Marvel is plotting here. They bring in this new Black Panther as a side character. He's total badass, kicks a whole bunch of butt. Then, assuming that everything goes well, they give him a much bigger role in the next solo Black Panther movie, and he transitions to becoming the main version of Black Panther going forward. Marvel and the Russos just seem like they're doing the safest possible things they can with Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. Like, that's why Marvel went to the Russos to direct the movies, why they went to Robert Downey Jr. to come back as Doctor Doom, instead of casting somebody completely brand new as Doctor Doom. Marvel and Disney want every last possible dollar that they can get from you, so they just have to do the absolute safest possible thing, which is also probably why they wanted that X-Men trailer for Avengers Doomsday to go so hard. Probably the best trailer that they've released so far. They really should have led with that. But I think the recent Avengers Doomsday, Black Panther, and Fantastic Four teaser trailer that I just did a video for confirms some time runs out theories about the way they're adapting Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. Avengers Doomsday is more of a time runs out movie, Jonathan Hickman storyline. In Avengers Secret Wars is going to be based more on Jonathan Hickman's version of Secret Wars. Obviously very different because the Russos completely rewrote the movies last year. Probably till the last possible minute, too. I would not be surprised if they're still changing the movie today, even though technically they're mostly done with Avengers Doomsday, with like a couple pickup shots, a couple extra scenes that they're probably filming before the movie comes out. It was the exact same situation when they made Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. They were still working on the movie even after it came out opening weekend. Like, they were still editing the movie, fixing special effects, doing things after the movie had already been released in theaters. Based on what Ryan Coogler has been saying in his interviews, I don't think that anyone is taking the mantle of the main MCU Black Panther from Shuri until later or the end of Black Panther 3. So that means that heading into Avengers Doomsday, like we saw in the teaser trailer footage recently, she comes into the movie at the beginning as the main version of Black Panther throughout both of those movies.
The king has his duties to prepare our people for the afterlife.
But there are a lot of people that were wondering about this because in a lot of the highlight reels where Marvel was releasing early promos and hyping up everybody about all the actors that were going to be in it, they would just refer to her as Shuri, not as Black Panther, the way that they would refer to the other actors as their characters' names. Why would they just be calling her Shuri and not Shuri and Black Panther or just Black Panther? Seems pretty clear this because they're going to introduce multiple versions of Black Panther during the movies. We're also going to be getting multiple versions of Spider-Man, so we've already actually seen this in practice. They just haven't done it yet with the Black Panther character. Technically, they did do it with Killmonger during the What If series, where he actually did legit become Black Panther, taking over for T'Challa in another universe. Absolutely cannot wait to see Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and Andrew Garfield eventually come back too, along with Tom Holland's MCU Spider-Man. Doesn't it now make sense why we saw so much of Damson Idris with all the other Black Panther characters in the last year or so? There were so many interviews that he did about becoming the new version of Black Panther, trying to not reveal things with Marvel, because their lawyers probably had every sniper trained on him possible. This is also why you probably haven't heard him talk a lot about Black Panther recently, that there was a stretch during last year where he did nothing but talk about becoming the next Black Panther, then boom, immediately shut up real quick, and that is probably because he actually was talking to Marvel about becoming a version of Black Panther. Usually the rule of thumb is that if an actor is talking a lot about doing some big role like this, they have not actually landed the role yet. When they shut up, it's after the deal has been signed and the lawyers basically tell them, you had better shut up about this or there will be consequences. Tom Holland and Mark Ruffalo didn't invent this phenomenon, like it was happening long before they came along. It just became a big thing during the Marvel MCU era when they came along, and Marvel started turning it into purposeful marketing, like turned their spoilers into marketing. So eventually Marvel started leaning into the curve and using that to get people even more hyped up, like sometimes the leaks actually help more than they hurt. This is also why everybody's been talking about the Avengers Doomsday teaser trailers that have leaked out. So far we've had 4 with this new Black Panther Fantastic Four version. I do feel like a couple of these genuinely leaked and then Marvel would just let them out and then slowly take them down. Like they weren't really quick to take them down just because they were happy with all the extra press because they dominated along with Stranger Things over the entire holiday period. Like all you've heard about the last couple of weeks are Stranger Things and Avengers Doomsday, which is exactly what Marvel wants.
The question is, who will you be?
So what it seems like Marvel is doing, in Avengers Doomsday, we meet this variant version of T'Challa, played by Damson Idris, if reports are to be believed. He makes it through, he survives to Avengers Secret Wars, helps all the multiverse characters that come together, the multiverse Avengers, like the greatest Avengers, all the X-Men characters that also survived too, other Fantastic Four characters, other variants that we didn't see in Avengers Doomsday. They wind up defeating Doctor Doom, and if the ending is somewhat similar to the Jonathan Hickman Secret Wars ending, they use that as the soft reboot point and basically reboot everybody that isn't already on the MCU that they want and sort of rejigger, recast everything that they want to do heading forward into Marvel Phase 7 so that the MCU in the movies more closely resembles the comic book 616 universe with all the characters and teams living on the same Earth. And they just leave this new T'Challa version of Black Panther inside the MCU and just say that he's always been here. But I think the important thing to remember is that based on what Ryan Coogler has been saying in interviews and what the Russos have been saying, I don't think that anyone is taking the mantle of the main MCU Black Panther from Shuri until later or the end of Black Panther 3. Meaning that if we look at the Avengers Doomsday Black Panther trailer with them meeting the Fantastic Four characters, it's meant to happen very early on in the Avengers Doomsday timeline, but after the Thunderbolts post-credit scene, after the Fantastic Four have come into the MCU. You have to imagine that at this point, all the different teams have started to split up and deal with the incursions, with Doctor Doom, like all the main problems that they have at the beginning of Avengers Doomsday. And at that time, when their team, the Black Panther and Fantastic Four team, pair up, Shuri is still the main Black Panther. That's why we saw the footage of her, like her little boot. You can see her Black Panther suit in the bottom of the frame on what looks like the Fantastic Four ship with some of the new Avengers characters and the Fantastic Four characters. But when their team first pairs up, Shuri is still the main Black Panther, M'Baku is still the king of Wakanda, and the MCU T'Challa's son, Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa's son, is still a little kid. Not much time has gone by since Black Panther Wakanda Forever. We know that a little time has gone by because Shuri has that brand new Black Panther suit that's way more hardcore, and Namor also has a brand new, more comic book accurate suit that looks like his time runs out comic book suit. This is also why I think this is soft confirmation that they're using some of Time Runs Out in the Jonathan Hickman comics for the events of Avengers Doomsday. But it's going to be vastly different than the entire comic. It won't be like a page-to-screen kind of copy-paste adaptation. During both of the movies, Shuri is still the main Black Panther in the MCU, so if they introduce this Damson Idris T'Challa Black Panther, he's more of a side character first helping them out. A lot of the concept art that leaked out last year actually seems like it's more from Avengers Secret Wars too, like this version of T'Challa Black Panther and all the different suits that they were testing out in what looks like a Thundercats very inspired kind of Secret Wars scene, like this secret Black Panther lair built into the side of a mountain.
Just wonderful.
Now it makes a little more sense why he looks a little bit like Damson Idris. Ryan Coogler is also involved with a lot of the Black Panther Wakanda subplot in Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars because Black Panther 3 is still supposed to be the very first movie after Secret Wars after the reboot. So it's really important that all these movies line up, even though they are using Secret Wars for a soft reboot on everything. Everybody post all your reactions in the comments below and let me know what you want Marvel to do with their new Black Panther T'Challa character going into Marvel Phase 7. What'll happen is that next week we'll get a shiny HD crisp version of the Black Panther Fantastic Four Avengers Doomsday trailer. Of course, I'll do a video for that. We'll probably be able to see way more Easter eggs in the background too because it won't be potato quality. Whatever they wind up releasing, whatever leaks out, of course I will do videos for it, so be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss anything. Everybody click here for that new Black Panther Fantastic Four Avengers Doomsday trailer, and click here for all my other Avengers Doomsday trailer videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.